I don't know, 3, 4 years ago in a subcommittee that I chaired dealing with piracy, and I know this is a little bit of a side issue, but we kind of brought up losing some of this, or some of you losing your business possibly to China. And does it concern, the question's for all of you, does it concern you about, when you've got manufacturers trying to control costs, maybe going or looking for something like that? And when we had that hearing on piracy, I mean, the products were absolutely identical. The quality was horrible in most cases, but they were absolutely identical, even down to the packaging in many cases. Do you all worry about that? Is it a concern? Is it a growing concern? Shifting more towards those sub-quality products for a much cheaper price sort of thing, and particularly, with our piracy issues that are coming out of China right now. Mr. Reed?
Yes, I would concur totally with that. On two sides of my personal business, on the foundry side, as anyone knows, and the gentleman with the Foundry Association you cannot compete with the Chinese market in that place. They will copy you. They'll send stuff in the United States. I actually had an operation in China, which I've since canceled because of that situation. They were basically just pirating the activity. I think the problem that we're facing is we don't play on level deck in America. I think the number that we come up with, we're already starting like 25% behind the curve when we go compete against anybody else in the world because of our tax codes, because of OSHA, because of everything else. And we've been able to be successful over the years because of the innovativeness and productivity of the American worker. And that's what's so critical to me right now, is that I see, and all of us are saying the same thing. Basically, we have to do something to keep the small businesses going with the technology and innovation that we've had for so many years. I think we have a lot of other issues than piracy that concern. Obviously, we got a problem internally right now. If we can get that solved, yes, sir, Mr. Graves, I think we need to pursue that in some more fashion to, nobody wants the protectionist system per se. We want to be able to do what we think we can do better than anybody else. That's what's made us doing these things. But in the same token, you would like to have some support from the government as well as the international community to make sure that we're playing to the same rules.
On behalf of MEMA, we have a large number of our members that get a large number of their sales from the aftermarket business, and it is absolutely critical in terms of piracy. We see piracy as stealing jobs out of the U.S., destroying these businesses. The sales of pirated products coming in are absolutely astronomical. I know that there was legislation passed several years ago to address issues of piracy and copyright, but quite frankly, these issues have not really been overseen or administered, I should say. There's nothing that has really been done about that. So we need to put some teeth into this legislation that is already out there and enact some of the current piracy legislation that is in place and really go after these folks in a hard way. I mean, there's several cases, brake shoes made of sawdust. I know you've seen all that, and it's very disturbing.
Shorten.
We've seen the piracy issues firsthand, even on the tooling side. We've had an opportunity to build some tools for China, and going in that you're going to get one opportunity, and you're not going to see it again because those tools are going to be copied. So there's an immediate concern and a very real concern. And we've had customers that have actually outsourced tooling, outsourced to China, either tooling or product development, part run production, and actually created competition for themselves because China copied those tools, copied those parts, and they see it on the shelves right next to their product from the very tools that they had built and parts they had ran in China. So very real, all the way down to the tooling side, the piracy.
Mr. Jones?
As I mentioned earlier, the surface finishing industry does not manufacture anything. We just make things look better, work better, last longer. So we are dependent upon a strong manufacturing infrastructure in this country for the survival of our industry. What we are seeing in our customer base, some of our customers are sending product to China maybe to have it quoted, and they may not have taken advantage of the China price and kept it here in this country, and they may have used it to lever some of the other costs down domestically. However, several months later, the same quote that they sent to China, the same part they sent to China to have quoted, they're seeing in a catalog from China up to the portion with their logo on it. So that certainly is pirating. Other things on the quality side, we have one of our major customers that competes worldwide, and especially with China, on some product that's used in the construction industry. 2 years ago, we had a chance to go over to China to take a look and see what they were doing and how they were doing it. And we looked at some of the heat treating that they were doing on some of the product. We said, what do they know that we don't know? We came back, we ordered some of the product, or they ordered some of the product. They sent it out to independent testing labs, 10 different independent testing labs throughout the country, and 7 out of 10 of those products failed the torsion and structural tensile test that are required for that grade of product. Those products are used in safety and nuclear equipment.
Mr. Norch.
Thank you. As in the metal casting industry, we use a lot of tools and dies to make our products. So Mr. Overton and I may be a little redundant in some of our comments here, but just over the past decade or so, the metal casting industry has just been besieged with tooling quotes, et cetera, coming from China. Product goes over there. It is absolutely pirated. We have lost every type of domestic oil and gas drilling equipment has been prominently displaced over there. Compressors, things of that area. What we do, as well as the automotive sector at Denison Industries, we make a lot of castings for the defense market. And we do a lot of scanning equipment, things that would in our industry that would go for the equipment that would find a life-threatening disease. Things would scan luggage at an airport to keep things out of the airports from people who are trying to harm us. We produce armaments and vehicles that transport and protect our troops and our defense systems. What's the next thing to go and be pirated over there? And I hope that we don't fall into going after that for cost purposes alone.